guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing another one of my best and worst series videos. So I've already done Tarte and Too Faced. I'll leave those videos linked down below for you guys if you are interested in those, but today we are covering Urban Decay. So I'm going to be telling you all of the things that I love from this brand, everything that I think is the best, and then I'm going to be going through everything that just didn't work out for me from this brand. So if you guys are interested in seeing all of my best and worst products, then just keep on watching. So the first thing I'm going to start off with is something that's not only my favorite from this brand, but one of my favorite products from any brand of all time, and this is the All Nighter Setting Spray. This setting spray will seriously lock in your makeup like no other. It will keep it on super long. It's $32, it's oil-free, and it just works really good on my skin. This has been my go-to setting spray for I don't even know how long. Every single time I do my makeup, I use the setting spray, and it is just my favorite out of everything. It also has the perfect mist to it. I'll spray one. It doesn't go on like splotchy on your face. You know how sometimes you'll get a glob of setting spray and then it dries and it's like a wet mark on your face? Never happens with that, and yeah, I absolutely love that stuff. The next product that I love is the Naked Skin Shape Shifter Palette. I absolutely love this thing. You get powders on one side and then you flip this little mirror over and you have all of your creams. So this is perfect for travel because you have it all in one. You get a bronzer, a contour powder, a matte highlight, shimmer highlight, and then you also get color correctors in here, which I never use, but I use this cream contour all the time, and it is so amazing. Blends like a dream. Same with the powder contour. I'm wearing them both today, and they just blend so nice. I don't really care for the powder highlight in here though. Honestly, it's a little bit too light for my skin tone too. I'm wearing it today, and usually my highlight is super blinding, but you can tell it's definitely more subtle today. So I don't really care for that in here, but I do use this for underneath my eyes to brighten them up. And I use this contour shade all the time. I think I probably used it in like 15 videos straight at one point. So I absolutely love this, and I always bring it with me when I'm traveling. Okay, yeah, my hair is just doing some crazy stuff right now. It looks awful, but I keep catching it like out of the corner of my eye, and it's driving me crazy. Next we have the Naked Skin Concealer, and I have probably gone through at least 20 tubes of these. I use this every single day. It's just that perfect concealer. It's not super full coverage though, like Tarte Shape Tape, so that's the only downfall it has, but it looks very natural on the skin. It doesn't crease on me. It doesn't look cakey. The applicator on it is awesome. I love the applicator on this, and I always use this just to brighten up the center of my face, and it just does such a good job. This has been one of my ride or die concealers for the longest time now. And then we have the Heavy Metal Glitters. I own the shades Junk Show, Distortion, Grind, Glam Rock, and Midnight Cowboy, and they're all beautiful shades, but if I have to pick two that are my most worn and most used, it's definitely these two. I've actually gone through 2 tubes of this one, Midnight Cowboy, which is crazy because there's so much in here. These are just so easy to use. They have the perfect precise tip on them, so you can do a liner with them. One of my favorite things to do with them is to go right over my black liner and just do a straight line over top of my wing, and it looks so pretty. I also love using these when I just put a matte or even shimmer eyeshadow on my lid, and then you just do a quick swipe over your lid and it looks like you put glitter on instead of having to go with glitter glue and then packing on glitter and all that mess. It just makes your job so much easier. So that one is Midnight Cowboy. It's the gold one. This one is Glam Rock. Junk Show. That one is Distortion. So it comes off a little bit more green and orangey. And then that one is Grind. The next thing is a foundation, and this is the All Nighter Waterproof Longwear Liquid Foundation. There's a couple things that I don't like about this, and there's a couple things that I love about it. What I love about this is how full coverage it is. It's so full coverage. I love how matte it is, and I also love that it keeps my oils at bay. I do get a little bit oily in this, but it takes me a while for my oils to start coming through. There's a couple things that I don't like about it though, and even though I said I love how it's matte, I do like that, but if my skin is having a dry day or if I have a dry patch, forget about it. I can't even bother to wear that foundation because it's so matte that it definitely will enhance that dryness. Also, once I start to get oily in this, it does start to look kind of cakey, especially around my nose area and my chin, but it doesn't transfer on me, which is awesome. Once it dries down matte, it's like stuck for the day. It just definitely starts looking a little bit thick, heavy, and cakey looking if I've had it on for too long and my oils start coming through it. I also don't like how much that oxidizes. It gets pretty dark, like at least 2 to 3 shades darker than it was when you put it on. But otherwise, it is a really good foundation if you are oily. If you're dry, I probably would not recommend that just because it does not look the best over my dry patches. Another thing that I love are the liquid Moondust eyeshadows. I'm actually wearing the shade Solstice on my lids today, and I used to wear this so much. I am just obsessed with this shade. It has such a pretty duochrome effect to it. It looks blue in some lights, some lighting it looks red. It's just so cool and I love it. That is what the shade looks like on the back of my hand. So you can see how it kind of looks teal in some lightings and then red and green. It's just really, really cool. I also have the shade Chemtrail, which is probably my next most worn of these. We have Zodiac, which I don't wear greens that much, but this shade is stunning. So pretty, deep olive green with some blue glitter in there. Oh, and then this last one is Vega. I don't know how to say it. But blue is my favorite color, so obviously I love this one. It's just a really pretty deep blue with a purple duochrome to it. They dry nice and quick, so they're not messy. You obviously don't get fallout with it because it's liquid. So I just think they are the perfect liquid eyeshadow. Next up is the Beach Bronzer. I have the shade Sunkissed. This is the perfect matte bronzer. It has such a pretty undertone. It almost has a little bit of that red undertone, which I love. It's so silky, so finely milled. It blends like a dream. It doesn't go on patchy. It's super easy to blend. It's not super pigmented, so you don't go in too much and then you can't blend it out. And I just think it's a perfect neutral bronzer to really just warm up your face. Another skin product that I love is the Velvetizer. This is actually supposed to be a mix in medium, so if you have a dewy foundation or something that you just want to be a little bit more matte, you can mix this in with the foundation and it's supposed to make it matte. I actually have never used it for that. I use it for a setting powder and I love it. It's so smooth, so finely milled. I mean, you can see it flying all over the place, but it literally makes your skin look and feel like velvet. It makes it look so soft, and it's also super, super mattifying. So since I am so oily, I love this, especially for my T-zone. The next thing I love is actually the lipstick that I'm wearing today, and this is in the shade Backtalk. This is their Vice Liquid Lipstick. Such a beautiful shade. I used to wear this all the time and I totally forgot about it. Absolutely love wearing purples. That's like the only lip color that I ever wear, I swear, is purpley nudes. This one also has a comfort matte finish, so you can tell my lips, it doesn't look super matte. It still kind of looks like a satin finish. It's almost like a velvet liquid lipstick, but it's still matte. It doesn't transfer super easily. It's very, very comfortable to wear too. I also have 3 other shades that I brought up here to show you guys. This one right here is in the shade Safe Word. That one's also a really pretty deeper nude. And then we have Violet right here, which is a little bit brighter of a purple shade. And then this shade, I used to love this. This is in the shade Oblivion. I can't use that shade though when I'm the color I am right now, pretty tan, just because it looks so light on me. But when I'm a little bit more fair, it looks so pretty on. Okay, the next thing I have is something that a lot of people don't like, but I actually like this if you use it right. If you don't use this right, you will hate this. This is the Moondust Palette. So in here you get a bunch of fun shades, which is the main reason why I love this palette, is just because it's so fun and it makes me want to step out of my comfort zone. You can either use these with your finger and then tap it on the lid, or with a wet brush and glitter glue, and never go in with these with a dry brush because I promise you it will not work. So if you just use your finger, look at how much pigment you get out of that. That one is in the shade Light Year. Super pretty green. Then we have Magnetic right here, which is a beautiful purple with some blue accents to it. This one is the shade Vega. I don't know if it's Vega or Vega. Then we have Granite right here. Like, see, these shades are just so beautiful. That's another really cool one. That's the shade Element, and it's pink with like a fiery orange background to it. Another palette that I love is the Naked Heat palette. I love this palette because I love the mattes in here. I don't really ever use the shimmers in here, but the mattes are spot on. They blend super easily. They're very pigmented too, and all the shades in here are just right at my alley. I love all those super warm toned fiery reds and browns, and this deep purple shade right here. These two actually are so pretty. This is what I'm wearing in my crease, my outer corner today, by the way. So I do really love this palette just because there's so many warm tones in here and so many mattes. And then I have 2 more palettes that I want to talk about. I'm just gonna fly through these. This is the original Naked palette, and clearly this has been through some stuff. That's what happens when you have dogs. It is literally destroyed. I haven't used this in probably a year or 2 years. This was actually my first makeup palette ever, so that's why it looks so rough, and I obviously used to use this every single day. I think that this was a great starter palette. Honestly, now though, and the same with this one too, this is the Naked 2 palette. Both of these palettes I think are overpriced. They're $54, and I don't know, I just feel like nowadays you can get better palettes than this. They do blend nicely, they have nice pigment, but I don't really care for all the shimmer shades in these. There's literally 2 matte colors in this, and now I do my makeup so different, so I need a ton of matte shades. And to me personally, there's just too many shimmers in here. If I wanted to bring this on to travel with, I mean, I really would only be able to use this one shade in my crease, and that's it, because the rest are shimmery. So I didn't want to put those in the worst parts, because these obviously are really nice palettes. Just nowadays, I probably would never repurchase them. And the last little palette that I have to show you guys that I really like is the Naked Heat Petite palette. So I've only had this for a little bit now. I've tried it a few times and I really like it. Has the same pigment and blendability as the Naked Heat palette. Not the same shades though, but I really do like this. I think this is great for travel. It's all matte shades too, which is awesome. So if you're someone who just likes to do the same eye look every single day, I think this would be perfect. You have your transition color, your crease color, outer corners right here. This one can warm up any eye look, and this to set down your whole eye or highlight your brow bone. So you really have it all in this little palette. I do think it's a little bit overpriced though. It's $29, so that's a little pricey for only getting like 5 or 6 shades, but I do think it's a nice palette. Oh my gosh, I just bit my lips so hard. Ow, and I'm already bleeding. Oh my god, I'm bleeding so much. I'm sorry about that. We had a little accident there, but hopefully I'm done bleeding now. Okay, now let's move on to all the things that did not work out for me from Urban Decay. First thing we have here, Naked Smoky palette. Looks terrible on me. I don't know what it is. I usually like wearing cool tone eyeshadows, but these shades look horrible on me, and I don't know why. The only shades that I can really use in here are these first shades up here and this last one right here. Otherwise, the rest of them just look so muddy on me, so ashy, and I have never been able to get this palette to work. Other than the packaging though, I just can't do this palette. Next thing is the All Nighter Waterproof Full Coverage Concealer. I was so excited for this concealer to come out, especially because it had so much hype, but this, oh, it did not work out for me. If you guys watched my full face of first impressions video, I used this in it and it ruined my entire face of makeup. By the way, that's what the shade looks like. So it is super full coverage, but it dries so fast, I cannot get it to work. I can't use it with a beauty blender, I can't use it with my fingers, with a brush, but I swear the second it hits your skin, it just dries and you will not get any lines out of your face. It also creased super, super bad on me. It looked so dry underneath my eyes especially, so I was thinking I could just use this to spot conceal, but it did not work for that, because when I would put it over my acne, you would just see a dot and it would not go away. It also oxidizes a ton. I'm gonna show you guys once this dries down a little bit how much darker it's gonna get, because when I had it on my hand, I was blown away by how much darker it got when it dried. Again, another thing that I was super excited for but let me down are the Vice liquid lipsticks. I was so excited for these. I actually bought every single shade in this whole line. I was most excited for this shade right here, Backtalk, because I love the regular lipstick version. This also was the only shade that wasn't patchy on me and it didn't go on super weird and inconsistent. All the rest of the shades looked very patchy on me. They were super see-through, like you could see the color of my lips through the lipstick. They feel super sticky and goopy on the lips. So I hate to be hard on these ones, but there's just so many other liquid lipsticks that I love and use every day. Also, they transferred a ton. Every time I would open my mouth and talk, lipstick covering my teeth. Next up is the Afterglow Highlighting Palette. So I actually used this for the first time in a full face of first impressions video, I believe, and I thought I liked it, but I had to build it up a lot. But the more I used it, the more I realized how chalky these shades are. So when you swatch them, they do look very pretty, but honestly, when I put them on my cheeks, they look so chalky and ashy on me, and I'm not even that tan, so I can't imagine someone using, especially those top 2 ones, if they're any darker than me, just because of how ashy they did look on me. And I just feel like I had to build them up so much to get them to the pigment that I wanted them to be. So again, it's just another thing. If you like more subtle highlight and you are on the more fair skin tone side, I'm sure you would like these, but I just like my highlights to be super like like metallic and blinding. The next thing that didn't work out for me is the Naked Skin One and Done Hybrid Complexion Perfector. So I actually mentioned this in one of my videos way back when, probably like maybe almost 2 years ago now when I first started my channel. I actually did used to like this, and okay, I take that back. I do like this only if I wear it for like 4 hours. It looks very pretty on the skin. It looks very natural, healthy, and glowy. But after about 4 hours of wearing this foundation, I am so oily. My skin is literally wet looking after just a few hours of wearing this, and it separates on me. It transfers off everywhere. Again, if I maybe just had to run to the grocery store, I would put this on, or just not be out of the house for longer than a couple hours, I would wear this because it does look very pretty on the skin and very natural looking. But I would never wear that if I had to have it on for a longer period of time, just because of how insanely oily I got in that foundation. These are the De-Slick Complexion Primer and the Optical Illusion Primer. So honestly, my problem with this one, the Optical Illusion one, this is supposed to be a pore filling primer. And for some reason, I thought that I loved this when I first got it, but the more I use it, the more I realized it rolls off my skin so much. So I'm not sure why it does that, but it definitely does blur out my pores. That's about the only good thing that I got out of that primer. But I have so many other pore filling primers that don't do this to me. And then the other one, the De-Slick Primer. So this is a very different primer. It reminds me a lot of the Makeup Forever mattifying primer, which I love to this day. It's very liquidy and it dries very fast, but it dries white. And I did not notice that it did that on me until I started taking pictures with flash on, and there was a huge white cast on my face. It's just very, very weird. I don't like that white cast it has to it, and I don't like how it's powdery feeling when it dries. Oh, by the way, here's the concealer that I wanted to show you guys. So here it's a little bit wet, and then you can clearly see as it goes down here how much darker it got. Can you guys see that? How much darker it is? It's insane. Hey guys, so it's a different day, different outfit, different makeup. I'm in the middle of testing out a new foundation right now, and I was just about to upload my video and I realized I might cut out on the last product that I was talking about. So I have one more product to show you guys that I actually wasn't even going to talk about this in the first place, just because I haven't had enough time to really test it out enough to say if I really don't like it, or I don't know, but I have used it a couple times, and the few times that I did use it, I wasn't a fan of it. So the last product that I have to talk about is the brand new Backtalk Palette. So this is a blush palette on one side, and you have a highlighter right here, and highlighter, really a highlighter. And then on the other side, you have your eyeshadows. So you guys saw me use this in my full face of first impressions video. That was the first time I used this. And this shade right here, Backtalk, which was one of my favorite shades out of the palette, was just giving me a little bit of an issue blending it out. And I have tried it a few times after that, and I had the same problem. Again, it wasn't terrible. I could easily blend it out. It just took a little bit longer. And then this shade, WTF right here, I love this shade in this palette. It's very pretty, blends super easily, but the rest of the shades I really just don't love. They don't really look good on me. They're not super metallic and blinding like how I like my eyeshadows to be. So I mean, I swatched them right there. You can see they're just not really up my alley. I like really blinding metallic lid shades, and those are more of just sheens. So I wouldn't purchase this palette just for these two shades. And then for the other side, the blushes, you guys saw me use this one right here, and it just wasn't really pigmented. I was really digging in here, and I was not getting any payout on my cheeks. So that one didn't work out for me. This highlighter is just a little bit too subtle for me. It's a very pretty shade, but it wasn't really building up again to how blinding I like my highlights to be. And then these two blushes were just a little bit too dark on me. So I am just not a huge fan of this palette, and I know there was a ton of hype around this, which is another reason why I was so excited for this one to launch, but I just don't love it. So again, just like everything else I talked about in this video, even if I don't like something and something didn't work out for me, we all have different preferences, we all have different skin types, and just different styles of makeup, and that's okay if I don't like something and you love something that I talked about, or something that I loved and you just didn't like. We all have different tastes, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say. So please let me know down in the comments another brand you would like me to do this for. Again, I've already done Too Faced and Tarte. I will leave those videos linked down below for you, and give me some recommendations for new videos to do. And thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.